Have you ever just felt stuck? Like there has to be more to life than just going through the motions every single day? Well, if that sounds familiar, this one's for you. We're going to break down a really powerful guide to fundamentally changing your life. And it's not about working harder, it's about rewiring the way you actually think.
You know that feeling, right? When the alarm goes off and that thought just hits you. Ugh, work again today? It's that quiet dissatisfaction, that feeling that you're living on a loop, wondering if this is all there is. Living with that sense that something's missing. That's a heavy weight to carry around.
But here is the most important thing I want you to hear today. That feeling is not your fault. Seriously, it doesn't mean you lack talent or you're not good enough. The real culprit is something called your cognitive pattern, these unconscious habits of thought that shape how you see everything. And the best part? You can absolutely change it.
So if we want to change so badly, why does it feel impossible sometimes? Well, to understand how to break free, we first have to get a handle on the powerful forces that are actually holding us in place. Let's get into the science of feeling stuck. It turns out there are 3 really common traits of people who have a hard time changing. First, they tend to put their own happiness way down on the priority list. Second, they get caught in the trap of thinking that money is the only real path to a happy life. And third, and this one is the big one, they stay in their comfort zone, even if that zone makes them completely miserable, just because it's familiar.
What's fascinating is that this resistance to change is actually hardwired into our biology. It's a principle called homeostasis. It's the reason your body maintains a stable temperature no matter what. It's this powerful, automatic instinct to keep things exactly as they are.
And that same exact instinct applies to our minds. Homeostasis is constantly working to keep you right inside your comfort zone, that space with all your familiar thoughts, habits, and routines. And here's the crazy part. Even if that zone is stressful or unfulfilling, it's known, and our brain's survival instinct will always choose the familiar devil over the unknown angel.
This example just shows you how incredibly strong that pull is. You've heard the stories, right? Lottery winners who end up broke in just a few years. Why does that happen? Because a life with that much wealth was so far outside their comfort zone, their unconscious mind literally couldn't handle it. It sabotaged them to drag them back to the familiar feeling of being poor, back to what felt normal. Okay, so if we're basically fighting our own biology, how do we stand a chance? Well, it all starts by completely changing how we think about change itself. It's not about becoming a totally different person.
Let's use a quick Pokemon analogy here. A lot of us think changing our lives is like being a Charmander trying to become a Mewtwo. It's just impossible, right? They're completely different types. But true change, true evolution, that's more like Pikachu evolving into Raichu. It's still an electric type, it's still fundamentally Pikachu, just a more powerful, more realized version of its true self. And that right there is the secret. The goal isn't to erase who you are and become someone else. The goal is to unlock your own Raichu form, to evolve into a more advanced version of yourself, while staying true to your core identity.
Now, getting this shift in perspective is absolutely key. But then the question becomes, how do you actually do it? How do you kickstart your own evolution?
Here's how. You set a goal that is so big, so ambitious, that it's just impossible to achieve if you stay on your current path. It can't be something you can get by just working a little harder. No, it has to be a goal that forces you to become a different version of yourself just to even try for it.
Pursuing a goal like that takes a very specific mindset. It's called efficacy. Now, this isn't confidence that's based on your past successes. It's a completely baseless, unconditional belief that you are capable. It's that gut feeling of, okay, I have no idea how I'm going to do this yet, but I know I'll figure it out.
Think about Masayoshi Son, the founder of SoftBank. When the company was just starting out, he stood on a wooden crate in front of just a couple of employees and declared they would one day have trillions of yen in revenue. I mean, it sounded completely absurd, but that was the point. That's efficacy in action.
So here's where the magic happens. When you set a goal that huge and you hold it in your mind with so much belief and clarity that it feels more real than your current life, something amazing happens. Your comfort zone literally shifts. Your present situation is no longer home. The future where you've achieved that goal, that becomes your new comfort zone. And all of a sudden, your brain's homeostasis starts pulling you towards it instead of holding you back.
Okay, that's the theory, and it's pretty mind-blowing. But how do we actually put it into practice? Let's get down to brass tacks. It all comes down to a concrete 3-step action plan.
The whole process breaks down into 3 clear stages. First, you have to decide. Second, you have to understand who you really are. And third, you set the goal. Let's walk through each one right now.
Step 1 sounds simple, but it is the most important. It's a conscious decision. You have to sit down and ask yourself, honestly, am I going to stay where I am, or am I truly going to commit to changing my life? There's no wrong answer, but you have to make a choice. This is the starting line.
All right, step 2 is all about discovery. And we're going back to our Pokemon buddy for this one. Before Pikachu can evolve into Raichu, it has to know its fundamental nature, that it's an electric type. It can't try to become a water type. You need to do the same thing. You have to figure out your own core nature before you can evolve it.
This little table here is basically your personal audit. Let's break it down. First, your self-desire. What's that thing you do automatically, that you do even if people told you to stop? That's a clue to what drives you. Second, self-ability. What's your special move? The thing that feels so easy for you but other people seem to struggle with. And finally, self-function. What's the role you naturally play for others? Are you the problem solver, the listener, the connector? Knowing these 3 things helps you to find your unique type.
And that brings us to the final step, where we put it all together. Once you have this deep understanding of yourself, you are ready to set that goal, the one that exists completely outside the predictable path you're on today.
But here's the most radical, mind-bending idea of them all. We have to completely change what we think a goal is for. Because a goal, in this new way of thinking, is not necessarily something you're meant to achieve.
It's a device. It's a tool. Its real purpose is just to be so big, so out there, that it forces you to change your thinking, your habits, your entire being, just to chase after it. Honestly, whether you get to the top of that mountain is less important than the person you become while you're climbing it. The goal is the catalyst for your evolution.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. Based on your deepest desires, your natural abilities, and the role you play in the world, what is that one huge, seemingly impossible goal that lies just beyond the horizon of your current life? Because that isn't just some daydream, it's the key to unlocking your evolution.